My brother is getting married in a few months. I have been asked to be at the wedding party. I'm in my early 30s and have been getting tattooed once every year or two since I was 20, so by now I have a number of tattoos. They're all well done and have no offensive, shocking designs. Mostly they are nature and abstract art. No one in my family really likes my tattoos, but it's not their body or their money, so their comments never bothered me much. Sometimes good tattoo artists have long waiting lists. There's an artist I've been trying to get an appointment with for years, and recently his receptionist contacted me saying they had appointments available. I booked one and got a new piece a few weeks ago. It never occurred to me to think of the wedding before getting it done, and besides, I already have so many tattoos that why would one more make any difference? But my brother saw the tattoo in one of my social media photos and contacted me upset that my new tattoo will be a distraction during the wedding and in the pictures. The dress that he and the bride picked for the wedding party is short and strapless. I offered to wear a different outfit that covers more skin, but they also think it would be distracting for me to not match the rest of the party. I asked why my older tattoos didn't bother them but the new one did, and they said it's because they had to accept the old ones and thought I'd respect them by not getting any more. I don't really understand what it has to do with respect. Am I a bad person for not thinking of the wedding pictures before booking my tattoo? I'm married. I get that wedding photos are expensive and you want them to look good, but I don't think it's right to dictate your wedding party's appearances other than choosing their clothes. Not the idiot. Sick of all this bride and groomzilla thing, being worried about their guests or wedding party distracting from the day. I'm getting married next year. The bridesmaids are wearing navy, but they can choose their styles and hair. I want them to be comfortable and to enjoy themselves. I wouldn't want them worrying about upsetting me because they made a personal choice for themselves. People get way too into themselves when their wedding comes up. Your tattoo choices have sod all to do with them. Not the idiot. Tattoos are as much part of your body as your arms or your hair. Your brother can't get upset at you for living your life in the meantime before his wedding. This isn't an issue of you not respecting them, it's an issue of them not having appropriate boundaries. They can't dictate people's permanent body features for their wedding. Not the idiot. It's 2019, people have tattoos and people have been to weddings where members of the bridal party, and even Clutches Pearls the bride, have tattoos, and if they had a problem with yours being visible they should have taken you up on your offer to wear something that covered them up. Unless you show up in a 3-piece pimp suit while everyone else is in jeans and t-shirts, you won't be distracting anyone from the people actually getting married. Your brother needs to calm down. So my husband and I were stuck in an airport for 15 hours yesterday due to multiple flights to our destination being delayed and cancelled, so we hung out at a lot of different charging stations. This lady had her phone on top of someone else's phone in her group on the charging station. Apparently, she had set an alarming thing on her phone to go off if someone moves it because she left it unattended on the charging station. When we got to the charging station at our terminal, the alarm was going off already, and apparently, the lady had walked away to do something and someone else in her group was holding it, and the alarm was just constantly going off and sounded like a car alarm. I and my husband were trying to figure out what was making this noise. So when she comes back from the bathroom, she's yelling at her husband, "Why is my phone going off? Who touched it?" So she looks over at me and my husband with the nastiest face, assuming we messed up with her phone, which we did not. I do not care to mess with other people's stuff. She was just yelling and going on and on about someone touching her phone, very loudly and angrily. For a good solid 10 minutes, constantly going crazy. Her husband tells her someone bumped it while trying to get their phone plugged into the station. And she just gets even madder, still yelling about people trying to take her thing, which nobody did. So she comes to the station, moves other people's things around to get her phone plugged back in, and she puts that damn car alarm trigger back on it, so if it moves, it goes off very loudly. When it's time to start boarding, she's waiting at the desk, even though she was in the last boarding group. She was in such a hurry to try to cut every other boarding group, I guess she forgot about her heavily secured phone on the charging station. Her husband tells her, "This isn't our group, you can't board," and she just shrugs her shoulders and stays in the line. My husband and I are still by the charging station because our boarding group was next to last. I unplug my phone and notice hers is still plugged in. She's near the front of the line at this point. So I'm not touching the thing to make it go off very loudly again and have her accuse me of stealing her thing, yet again, just to take it to her in line cutting husband. She was complaining very loudly about God knows what to the people at the boarding gate, so I just decided to leave it, thinking maybe she'd remember, but I honestly don't know if she ever did. Does this make me a bad person? Everyone's the idiot here. She sounds like a completely miserable, awful person, but losing your phone really awful. At least for her husband's sake, who you know she's going to blame for not reminding her to grab it, it would have been nice to just let her know. That being said, I can't blame you at all because she does sound like the absolute worst. Not the idiot. Based on your title I was thinking you are the idiot, but based on her setting a stupid alarm in the first place, and what kind of entitled idiot do you have to be to think your phone isn't going to get moved accidentally at a public charging station? Yelling at her husband, yelling on and on about her stupid phone, butting in line, and yelling at the gate agents. Well, I don't really believe in karma, but in this case, I might. And I might even hope that her phone has a lot of stuff on it that she hasn't backed up, and that she never gets it back. Everyone's the idiot here. Sure, she deserves to lose her phone for being such an idiot, but the rest of the people in the airport don't deserve to deal with the consequences of what's going to happen if they try to move that abandoned phone. It would have been hilarious had you told a gate agent that one of the passengers, the whiny line cutter, left her phone, and she might want to get it back. Then this woman would have had to come off the plane and get back on. I am 26 and shortly before my grandma died last year she changed me to the executor of her estate. My grandma became enraged, rightly or wrongly, at my mom, aunts, and uncle, and basically at the 11th hour rewrote her considerable estate go to my generation, myself, sister, and cousins, and one great-grandkid, who I call niece because I truly don't understand all the removed stuff, so split evenly 6 ways. The condition was if the person was not through college, their share had to be spent on education first, otherwise, I would keep it in a trust until they turned 27. The stipulation was as well that the person had to have a 3.5 grade point average to get it for school, if not they had to get their grades up or wait until 27. I really hope this is making sense. Basically, under no circumstances do any of the cousins or great-grandkid not get their money, or do I get to keep it long term. My cousin and her daughter, niece to me, came asking me for the money so she can make payments to the University of Arizona so she can start next week. Either they didn't know or didn't care about the GPA requirement, because when I asked to see her report card from her last semester it showed me she all but failed her last semester. I don't even know how she graduated because she had something like a 1.2 GPA. I asked her how she got into U of A and she said she didn't really know or care, she just was ready to get to school to party. I basically said no, that this was not even remotely the stipulations of my grandma's will, and that I will be happy to give her the money for the spring semester if she gets her grades up to a 3.5 this fall. That's when all hell broke loose. My mom, aunts, and uncle already see me as a target because they are resentful of being written out of the will. My sister and one cousin are fine because they've already gotten their share, but my other 2 cousins and niece have started circulating emails that I'm running my own version of Scott's Tots because I'm taking away money that was promised for education. There's also an undertone that I'm keeping the other 3 people's money so I can save it for myself if they don't go to college. No amount of explanation is helping. I've tried to tell them that under no circumstances can I keep their shares. If they don't go to school, they get the money when they turn 27. No questions asked. No one wants to hear this from me, and everyone wants me to give my niece the money independent of her grades, and I imagine my other 2 cousins will see this as a precedent so they get their money well before they turn 27. There is really nothing stopping me from doing it. I write all the checks from the trust, and while it may not be in line with the will, no one is really going to question what I'm doing. I have to admit all the pressure is getting to me, especially the Scott's Tots thing, because I don't want to be seen like that. Would I be a bad person if I withhold my niece's money for school until she gets her grades up? I'd send out an email saying that if you hear one more word about this or someone else calls you a name, you will have a lawyer handle that person's account and pay their fees. Remind them that the lawyer will be a lot more expensive and a lot more strict. If someone responds to the email in negative, respond that this person is the reason that you are now sending this to lawyers. They will then switch their anger to that person. Niece doesn't even care about her education, she just wants to go to the U of A because it's a notorious party school. I live in Tucson and it's not uncommon for people to go for 1 year and just party, then drop out and move back home. She shouldn't even go until she grows up, or go to a community college first and prove she's serious. This is the right way to do it. If they want to make it difficult, then that's on them, but you're not the idiot for executing the will the way it was intended. Sounds like the kind of lie your grandma was tired of dealing with from the generation above you. Your cousin's kid has no intentions of keeping her GPA a 3.5, otherwise, the will's requirements wouldn't be an issue and she wouldn't be worried about whether or not she'll get the money. The ring in question is timeless elegance, rose gold, from a popular jewelry brand, in case you guys want to see it. I bought my ring 1 year ago as an accessory ring. The stone is cubic zirconia. I wore it a few times at work when it complemented my outfit, maybe 6 or 7 times at most, as I have other jewelry that I am more fond of and wear more often. Then 2 months ago my coworker Emily got engaged, and her ring is the same timeless elegance ring I bought as an accessory. I didn't say anything and just congratulated her on her engagement. Honestly, I was surprised her fiancé proposed to her with a $100 ring, but maybe it had a special meaning for them, and I know the fact that her future husband gave it to her makes it priceless for her. Last Friday I wore an outfit that I thought would look well with my timeless elegance ring, so I decided to wear it on the middle finger of my right hand. I knew that Emily would be wearing her engagement ring, but I thought, she knows that her ring is sold across hundreds of stores and has been purchased by probably thousands of people, so if she has no problem with wearing a ring like that, then I don't think she would have a problem with seeing someone wearing the same ring. Unfortunately, she did. When she saw that I was wearing the same ring, she pulled me aside and asked what the hell I was thinking wearing the same ring. Was I trying to make her feel that her engagement ring is just an accessory? I told her I'm not trying to make her feel anything by wearing the ring that I bought way before she had hers, and that I'm sure her ring is priceless because her fiancé gave it to her, but I think that she's not in a position to tell me that I can't wear something I own just because she owns something similar. She had some choice words for me and has not talked to me since. But she has been telling our coworkers that I am bullying her and making her feel that her engagement ring is just an accessory. Some have taken her aside and said I should have avoided wearing that ring in the office, while some think that if she has an issue with having a common ring, then she should take it up to her fiancé and not the other people who have the same ring. The post didn't come across as classist to me. People here would have judged you for wearing such expensive jewelry to work if it was a real diamond as well. It is an accessory ring that it's being sold as. It's great that people are picking cheaper rings now for their engagement. It stops the pressure the diamond industry puts on people, but your coworker is clearly self-conscious about it. Not the idiot. Not the idiot by any means. My fiancé and I deliberately went for cheap engagement rings because we wanted to pour more money into the wedding and I wanted a specific design that was not expensive. You're entitled to wear what you like. It sounds like she's a bit angry at her own ring and is taking it out on you. Everyone's the idiot here. Your comment about the ring's price tag and how you were surprised her fiancé proposed with it is very telling. I think likely you didn't like that Emily's engagement ring was the same as the one you own. Emily is out of line for expecting you not to wear a ring you own before her, but I wonder if her reaction of thinking you do it out of malice is over the top, or if she's on point because she knows you. I'm not decided on that. Either way, you're both involved in a very petty high school drama plot, unfit for adult, working women. My family and I grew up very poor. From when I was old enough to legally work, I, 19, have had to take on multiple jobs while balancing school to help with my family and my younger sister. Growing up, I never had a lot, and whatever money I earned I would spend on my sister, 16, and family. When I was 18 and had just been accepted into college, my dad's business that he'd worked on for the past couple of years finally took off. This also meant that my sister could now have a normal high school experience without worrying about money. While I was in college, I wasn't in contact with my sister that much since I was so busy with schoolwork. However, from our calls and her social media, I could tell she had changed completely and was involved with some bad people. She would post videos on her Snapchat of her getting drunk, smoking, driving while most likely drunk, etc. I tried reaching out to her, but she would mostly deny the claims and told me to mind my own business. At some point, she justified her actions using the argument, "This is what the cool kids do now, not everyone was a nerd like you in high school." One of my high school friends who also has a brother in the same grade reached out to me and said that she heard that my sister was seeing a sketchy guy from another school. Apparently, He sells illegal substances and was expelled from my sister's high school. I asked my sister about this and she denied it. Last week I got a phone call from my mom who was sobbing. She tells me that my sister is pregnant. I was so shocked that I could not speak. Then I was angry. When I was her age and even younger, I gave her everything and so did my parents so she could have all the opportunities her peers had. Since my dad's business became lucrative, they've given her every opportunity to succeed, any extracurricular, sport she wants, academic tutoring, school activities, etc. I never got any of those things. It angered me so much that she took all of this for granted and screwed up her life. The father? Her delinquent boyfriend who got expelled and sells illegal substances. She blows up my phone but I don't respond. She then sends me a series of long text messages asking if she can crash at my place. She also asked me if I could make her an appointment to see a doctor. Lastly, she asked if it would be okay if her boyfriend comes and stays over sometimes. I shut her down. I told her that you dug this hole for herself. If you allowed yourself to become pregnant, then you should be able to deal with the consequences. Also, I'm currently sharing a small apartment with 2 roommates. She begged some more and I denied her. In the past few days, she's still been texting me and calling me nonstop saying that she has nowhere to go and has been living in her boyfriend's car. I haven't responded to a single message of hers, but I feel my resolve wavering a bit. I fully don't support her, but maybe I'm being an idiot? This is what the cool kids do now. Not everyone was a nerd like you in high school. This triggered me so much. I can't believe she had the nerve to say that when OP sacrificed everything for her at that young age. And this is how she responds. And it's not like she has been kicked out literally. She still can stay at her parents' place despite all the criticism that comes with it, which she deserves. Not the idiot, OP. You don't owe her anything more. Live your own life to the fullest, free of such idiots. Not the idiot. She asked you to mind your own business. That sounds like good advice. Besides, you can't give her what you don't have. There is zero chance your roommates would be okay with your sister and her best friend moving in. I see no reason you can't offer advice. She needs to get aid and he needs to get a job. She cannot live with you. You cannot give them money. Not the idiot. She still has an option for a roof over her head and she chooses to stick it out with her loser boyfriend in his car? But your parents should not disown their daughter for this, it will only push her closer to her loser boyfriend. You should also be there for her as emotional support. Don't let her stay with you if you get in trouble with roommates/landlords, but let her know it will be okay. She made a mistake, be an example and someone she can lean on.